Yeah, very good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen in Asia, and a good morning to those in Europe. Welcome to our Exhibitor Spotlight session by the EU Business Avenues program in Southeast Asia, focusing on healthcare and medical technologies, where we have a series of presentation sessions highlighting some of the latest innovations showcased by our EU companies. My name is Amanda, and I'll be your MC for this afternoon. Without further ado, let's welcome our first speaker, Barbara and Benedetta from Newster Systems, to give their presentation. Barbara and Benedetta, please.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you for letting us having us this opportunity. We will be speaking about the management of healthcare waste in 2020. As many of you already know, the standard healthcare waste production at hospitals has usually only a 10% of its whole that is infectious. As of 2020 and the COVID-19 outlet, the rise of PPEs, personal protection equipment, has greatly increased. And there are many, there's a lot of waste created by the hospital staff, the patients, and the local population. Enormous amounts of waste have flooded treatment facilities, stressing capacity limits. Mountains of contaminated waste border roadways, and used masks and gloves flutter in the breeze. Contamination is lurking everywhere. By adopting Newster frictional heat treatment, the entire treatment process is on site, under the control of a person that is specifically trained to do so, and guarantees maximum efficiency and safety for the hospital and the community that surrounds it. The 75% reduction in the volume of waste after treatment is a plus, considering that storage space is at a premium, and our treated waste is certified for 28 days in stable condition. The guaranteed minimum sterilization level is 6 log 10, according to STAT level 4, thanks to the temperature reached in all the material equal to 150 degrees Celsius. Among the advantages of the use of frictional heat treatment, we have the elimination of the extra handling of waste at service centers, the elimination of movement of infectious healthcare waste in and from facilities, the elimination of emissions of any type due to our non-burning technology, the elimination of infectious waste on the road, the elimination of opportunities for scavengers, which thus brings to the elimination of the spread of infection. Newster avoids unintentional persistent organic pollutants, ash, dust, and smoke of incinerators. With the availability of vaccines, mountains of used needles will have to be treated. And frictional heat technology is one of the best alternative technologies to do the job. Newster covers all the bases, reducing and sterilizing to a fraction of its volume and permitting final disposal at municipal landfill. In order to block the spread of contamination through hazardous contaminated waste that is not properly handled from cradle to grave, we at Newster have given great thought to give assistance besides our traditional on-site ecosystems present in over 45 countries with more than 580 installations.
We have focused on improving rapid installations in containers, which has suitable for a quick plug, and run solutions in order to start treating solid healthcare waste and hospital wastewater, and improve working conditions and lower infection contamination ratio for staff and public. We also focused to design a sterilizer to be installed on board hospital ships at the lower decks. Besides our standard frictional heat equipment, the unit is especially designed with shock-absorbing feet to handle rough weather at sea, panel piston rod lock to avoid danger during maintenance and operation, and customized hooks for barycentric crane for safe maneuvering. Gringo is a mobile solution that can be eco-transported. Due to its small size, it is particularly suitable for field hospitals and is in use by the Italian Red Cross for the management of the current health emergency. The mobile sterilization unit can be installed very quickly. It is equipped with a connection to a field electric generator and has an outlet for cooling the water. The treatment capacity is the same of a Newster 5, or approximately between 15 to 20 kilograms per hour. Therefore, it is suitable for a field hospital up to 100 beds. Newster Hygienico is an innovative sanitation treatment system that treats the indoor air as a potential infected waste, aiming for greater healthiness in closed environments with a high flow of people. Thanks to the combination of three different disinfection mechanisms to ensure the highest germicidal coverage, ozone, UVC rays, and HEPA filters. Hygienico allows you to act effectively both through surface sanitization treatments and through continuous air filtration, allowing you to make a valid contribution to the spread of all respiratory infections, including COVID-19. Travel bans are not hampering our relations with dealers and customers. Distance for us is not a problem. With the use of remote devices for long-distance maintenance, tutoring, and 24 hours for 7 days network with our technical department. And a learning platform is also available for dealers and operators.
Walking with us through 2020, you have seen that Newster has worked with passion to give its contribution towards a reliable, safe emergency management, and our values have shifted to give a hand during this global epidemic. We thank you very much for attending our presentation. Good day.
Thank you very much, Barbara and Benedetta, for your presentation. If anyone from the audience has any questions, feel free to type them down on the Q&A chat icon below. You can also refer to the chat window to download all presentation references here. Next, please welcome Timo from Popit to give his presentation. Timo, please.
Yes, hi everyone.
Hi.
Right, so my name is Timo Heikkilä. I'm one of the co-founders of Popit and also the COO of the company. So Popit makes medication connected. And why is that important? It is important because, first of all, patients are not taking their medications as they should. 50% of patients are missing their doses. And the main reasons for that is that it just requires too much effort to take the medication. Patients also do not understand the importance of the medication or the treatment for the outcomes and the success of that treatment. There's really no easy or effortless way to track medication consumption. Then there is also a problem with the industry. The industry does not know what happens after a medication package is sold. There is no closed feedback loop for the patient, and this causes an annual $337 billion last mile problem. Packages are sold, nobody knows what happens after that. It's essentially a black box. And making the medication package smart is very expensive, requires significant regulatory effort. Poppit solves that with a simple solution. 80% of medications in the world come in the so-called blister package. We provide a solution that you simply clip on to the blister package, and it detects automatically whenever a medication has been consumed. The solution comprises 3 different components. First of all, there's our unique device, which detects medication taking automatically. It's the world's first tracker for blisters that does not require any modifications to the packaging at all. The information of the patient taking the medication is sent to the Poppit app, which provides smart reminders, and it reminds basically only if the patient has missed their dose. All of this information is also sent to the cloud, where it is stored in real time, and we are also able to send messages to the patient to support the treatment journey. Our solution has been validated together with one of the leading university hospitals here in Finland. We were able to reduce number of missed pills by over 80%, and the patients also became more consistent with their medication taking. So this is, of course, in the clinical setting, but what about in the real world? One of our customers is using this for a very high value drug, and their baseline adherence was 55%. With Poppit, we're actually able to get the adherence up to 80%, and right now even above that. Improvement is 25%. So what this means is that the patient is getting more efficient treatment, they're getting better quality of life, but the pharmaceutical company is also getting new revenue, fresh data, and a very significant sales upside from this medication. Why now? So the time is really now to digitize medication. So we have already seen inhalers, injectors being digitized, but with blisters, which are by far the most common medication packaging format, it has taken us only less than 2 years for first pharma rollouts. We're working with Pfizer, we're working with Novartis, Almirall, a few other really large pharmaceutical companies, and they're really interested because we do not require any changes to the packaging. So why is Poppit better than the competition? Because you do have the free reminder applications. There are different types of smart pill boxes. So with Poppit, you only get reminders when they are needed. So there are no needless reminders, and that's the way how we reduce reminder fatigue. With the smart the applications, the patients quickly develop the habit of routinely swiping away the reminder, only to 5 minutes later wonder if they actually took the medication at all. With Poppit, you always get a timestamp of when the medication was taken. So it's automatic, it's convenient for the patient, there's no changes to the packaging, and it is a validated impact. Obviously, this is not for all of the patients. So the kind of a patient who benefits most is using a few medications, which is the majority of the patients in the world. The patient is also IT literate, they want to be compliant, they want to get the most out of their medication, and they lead an active lifestyle, which might mean that they might have children, they might have a busy working life, so they don't necessarily remember to take their medication. And really important is that the patient wants to be compliant and wants to get the best out of the treatment. Poppit is also usable for public health. So imagine if type 2 diabetes, hyperlipidemia, hypertension, if the adherence would be improved. That would mean that we are able to already make a significant dent into the healthcare expenditure when the patient experiences fewer readmissions to the hospital. We can deploy our solution quickly in less than 2 weeks, actually, in case it is set up as something that comes right out of the box. We can easily do customizations as well. Our vision is that we are digitizing medication so that the patient is able to leverage the medication taking data to access services. External services that we provide or we provide access to can be electronic pharmacies, insurance, patient support programs. At the patient's consent, all of these are possible through our partnering companies. We provide a value proposition for pharma. We improve adherence, we support the patient's journey, and we are also able to differentiate the generic pharmaceutical products against the competition. For the patient, this is to make sure that the medication works as intended, and they are also able to take better control of their own treatment and know how medications have been taken. It is also possible to share the treatment data with healthcare professionals. So for other stakeholders, for pharmacies, we can provide an interesting value proposition where they are moving from a box mover to a service provider. And for hospitals, it's faster to outpatient treatment, supporting the patient between hospital visits. With insurance, we can provide faster recovery, fewer sick leaves, and care organizations, we can provide visibility to medicine consumption. We're already partnering with some of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, and that we are supporting patients across a variety of therapeutic areas. So Popit is making medication connected with a simple solution, and we provide the building blocks to digitalize medication. I open for questions for this one final minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timo, for your presentation. So if anyone from the audience have any questions, please feel free to type them down onto the Q&A chat box here. Alternatively, please look at our Zoom chat to download all presentations at our Google Drive link. Now, next, let's welcome Petri from PeriMed AB to give his presentation. Petri, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Petri Markkanen. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for PeriMed AB, based out of Stockholm, Sweden. PeriMed AB, we are providing, I think the slides are going too fast here. So, and you have the wrong picture there also from Popit. Excuse me, my...
Yeah, the PeriMed slides are on. This is the PeriMed
the slides are back on. Let it be. And you had a picture from Popit before there. That doesn't work. So. Okay, now can I start? Or?
Sure, yeah.
Can you go back, please?
Okay.
Can you go back one slide?
We are going back. We have given you controls of the slides as well for you to move up and down using your keyboard arrows.
Okay, now we can start. Okay. So good morning, everybody. I'm Petri Markkanen. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for PeriMed. And what we do is that can you go back again? Why is the slide moving? So I don't understand. Why is it moving when I'm not doing anything? So what we do is that we provide complete predictable diagnosis of diabetic vascular complications in one instrument. And we are the only ones that can do it in one instrument that meets the new global vascular guidelines as they are as were issued by the Global Society for Vascular Surgery in June 2019, a little bit more than 1 year ago. And we are a privately held company established 1981 in Stockholm, Sweden. And we do all the R&D, all the production in the same facilities in Stockholm in order to be able to secure a high quality in everything we do in our products. There are subsidiaries in US, China, Germany, France, Italy, and the Netherlands, and certified distributors in more than 25 countries worldwide. And our vision is to provide instruments for accurate diagnosis and monitoring of all patients with ischemia to save limbs, lives, cost, and reduce human suffering. And our product portfolio is divided in imaging and assessment and diagnostics. And within imaging, we have cameras for clinical purposes, for example, assessing burn wounds, whether a burn wound would heal by itself or whether it would need plastic surgery. And we also have cameras for research, both clinical research and animal research. But above all, our Periflux 6000 series of SIS products is used for assessment and diagnostics of peripheral arterial disease, mainly diabetics, all over the world. And our instruments are basically standard in the Nordic countries, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and we are big in US and China. And now we are looking at Southeast Asia, how we can also make an impact in Southeast Asia. And looking at the guidelines, the new practical guidelines, the clinical practice, and now it's moving fast. The new clinical guidelines for CLTI were issued in 2019 and June 2019. And if you take the next slide, so okay, I don't even know where we are now because it's really moving. And because according to global guidelines, ankle pressure and ABI, AP and ABR are frequently false because of medial calcinosis, and especially people with diabetes and end-stage renal disease is a problem because in more than 42% of the patients, ABI and AP is not enough and it shows the wrong values. And that is not okay, because if there's one thing that doctors really want to be able to do, that is to have a predictable diagnosis and a predictable outcome in the diagnostics that they do. So that is why we are important in this space. And the clinical practice guidelines, the summary of recommendations points at these very parameters that you should always use hemodynamic testing, should grade the wound extent, the degree of ischemia, and the severity of infection. And the way you do that is that you first measure ankle pressure and ABI, then toe pressure and TBI, and then you consider other alternatives, non-invasive methods like TCPO2 or SPP or PVR, because this is, especially with people with constrained blood flow, it's important to make several tests in order to have a predictable outcome. And next slide, please. And if you look at our system, the Periflux 6000, it is today actually the only machine that does all these recommended tests in one instrument. And because it has both the first line, ankle pressure and ABI, it has the second line, toe pressure and TBI, and it is also equipped with PVR, TCPO, and SPP, and other kinds of measurements as well. And some of the main advantages is that you can get the full picture of all these tests in just 20 minutes, because in our instrument, they can be done in parallel. And we are using laser Doppler, which is the most accurate and reliable technique. And for TCPO2, we are using the golden standard for TCPO2 measurements, which is using the Clark electrodes. And since everything is done in parallel in the same machine, that also gives a standardization of the measurements, which makes them comparable and predictable and reproducible, right? The next slide, please. And all these tests are done in totally 20 minutes. Ankle pressure and ABI, you do normally 3 repetitions. That takes about 5 minutes. For toe pressure, it takes another 5 minutes. And then when you add TCPO2 or SPP, that's another 10 minutes. So you can do all these tests in just 20 minutes. Right. And laser Doppler, it's a preheated laser Doppler technology that we use for the toe pressure. And it is the most accurate and reliable technique. And because if you have calcified vessels, it's important to have a sensitive technology. And with our solution, you do not require a pulsatile blood flow, because our laser Doppler will be able to give a result even though the blood vessels of the patients are calcified. and it's very sensitive at low pressures. And finally then, to do a complete perfusion assessment with you can do the complete perfusion assessment with Periflux 6000 in just 20 minutes. And we follow all the recommended examinations as per the new global vascular guidelines issued by the Global Society for Vascular Surgery in June 2019. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Petri. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Now, if there's any more questions, sorry for that. If there's any more questions, please let us know onto the Q&A chat box. You can also look at the Zoom chat to download all the presentations here today. Next, please welcome Arpad from Image Information Systems to give his presentation. Arpad, please.
Hi, Perilla. Thank you for the introduction. Let me take over. Hello to Southeast Asia. I'm calling from Germany. It's snowing here. We have the first snow here. I hope you do not have snow in Southeast Asia right now. I'm a medical doctor. I'm one of the founders of Image, and I would like to speak about modern medical image processing. We are already for more than 20 years in the medical imaging industry, and our company is called Image Information Systems. We have offices in our headquarters in Germany and offices in USA and India, and we provide any kind of solutions to process medical images. Our mission is to provide solutions from users for users or from doctors for doctors. We're proud that within 20 years, we have more than 10,000 user sites in more than 100 countries so far. And we currently extend our business to Southeast Asia. We have customers from Antarctica to Siberia, from Germany to the United States, from NATO submarine boats up to the mountains in Himalaya, almost everywhere. We have very robust solutions, and our customers manage around 50 million procedures per year, which is more than many countries do by themselves. We have small customers to big customers, like we have big customers like Cleveland Clinic in the United States is a very famous reference customer of us for many years. Heidelberg University is known, or in Southeast Asia, we have a few hundred customers, including Health World, demonstrating the feasibility that it works not only in US and Europe, but only as well in Southeast Asia. Which fields do we have? We have PACS. This means to collect images, to distribute images, provide them for remote diagnosis. We have so-called radiology information systems for remote reporting. We can offer it on-premise or as a cloud solution hosted. And we are very unique to have portable visualization. We have all these standards compliant from CE, FDA, JPEL, GHOST, ANVISA, to meet the regulatory challenges. What are the target groups? Our systems are used in hospitals, where we collect all the images from any specialties, really from dermatology, cardiology, radiology, pathology in a big network. We like to connect multiple hospitals to create big diagnostic networks. As well, we have imaging centers to optimize their performance, have a better throughput. We even have small doctors' practices, and in Southeast Asia, we do a lot of teleradiology web solutions. This is as it looks like, to collect all the data sources in many different formats, DICOM, non-DICOM, video or still images. We collect all of those images in a central repository, and we distribute and share those images. We can offer cloud solutions. We run multiple data centers in the world. This is especially good for low volume centers. For high volume centers, we recommend on-premise installation like this one to connect all of those hospitals to a big network. These are installations we do or we have done, and all of them can be connected to share data. What do customers say about us? We can increase productivity. We can decrease the stress level of doctors. You all know when you go to a hospital how doctors can be stressed. And I know by myself as I am a doctor, and we can reduce the cost or other customers say it's very, very stable. You switch it on and it runs and runs and runs. And they appreciate the continuous improvement and the very low maintenance cost, which is important. So what are the USPs at the end of our solutions? There are a few other vendors who provide imaging solutions who have both the web and the thick clients at the same time, which makes us very, very reliable. We have a multi-language system, currently 20 different kind of languages available. We support any kind of device worldwide in the imaging field. It's very scalable, very secure. We have very high-level customers like military, government, or ministries of health as customers. We have compliance with all the appropriate standards available. I mentioned this already. And we have an integration with all the existing local information systems, and it's a complete one-stop shopping solution. We are looking for distributors in Southeast Asia. We are looking for reference customers at special conditions, and we would love to hear any questions, comments, or feedback. Thank you for listening. There's a chat or Q&A session.
Thank you, Arpad, for your presentation. If there's any more questions in the Q&A, please feel free to let us know.
There are a few questions. Yes, the indicated price to the end user starts at a few $1,000s, and it can go up. I mean, like a simple solution can be very, very affordable. Let's say at $2,000. And if it is a system for a whole region, it can go up. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Also, I see there's some questions directed to Mr. Timo as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Timo, if you are here, you can pick it up now, or you can just answer it via text as well. Yeah. Okay. In the meantime, we'll move on to the next speaker for now. Next, please welcome Juan from Goga Mobility's Robots to give his presentation. Juan, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Thank you.
Yep. Hold on. I want to know I can control or not. Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Good afternoon to everybody in South Asia. We are a company based in North Spain, in Bilbao, and we do develop medical exoskeletons, and the focus of our research and products is rehabilitation. And I will explain what sort of devices we developed, and also how we are growing with new service centers for rehabilitations. So something that is really important is that we are already in the market. Around the world, there are maybe 40, 45 projects of research for exoskeletons, but we are only 6 companies with the CE mark in Europe, and only 2 of them are European companies. In 2018, we were the first European company with a full lower limbs exoskeleton that was certified. The pathologies we are treating are mostly a stroke, incomplete spinal cord, neurodegeneratives, and also we are already developing new clinical trials for new pathologies. Around 80% of our market is people over 60 years, and what they cannot do is to walk, or they don't have enough autonomy. So we have our own clinic, and we are behaving every day new patients. They are coming from our area, regional clients. We are also receiving clients from foreign countries and other parts of Spain. So we are not only producers of high-tech technology, we are also able to treat the patient and to understand their needs. Also, for research purposes, we are using exoskeletons for fragility analysis for people that in the future they might not be able to walk. And as part of the ecosystem of companies, we also know most of the hurdles for the development of this technology. We have two products, both are CE market. The first one is the Hank exoskeletons. We have full lower limbs, and there are 6 engines, 2 in the hips, 2 in the knees, and 2 in the ankles. This is the only motorized ankle, and this is key to get a more natural gait, closer to a human gait. I mean, the key idea is that the movement of the patient should not be robotic. The second device is a new device we certified this year. It's a single articulation robotic knee. And this is especially for post-operatory situations. We have very good medical evidences for stroke patients because we are able to get a very good gait symmetry. And we have focused our design to make it easy for the clinicians to use it. Maybe the first generation of exoskeletons 3-4 years ago, you needed almost full-time an engineer close to you to use it. So what we have developed is an efficient and easy to use exoskeleton that can be used in many situations. There are still many unknowns about the market. Right now, the market is still emerging, roughly $150 million a year, but is growing very quickly. We have been already doing demos in China and Japan, and we feel that already the South Asian market is ready for this technology. Regarding market segmentation, right now, most of the work we are doing now is for hospitals and rehab centers. There is also the beginning of a small market that we feel that is going to take off in 3 years for private users. But we are focusing also right now in the generation of small, specific and robotic centers that we feel is going to grow more. We have this company, it's a sister company developing this business model. And our idea is to open 6 service centers in Europe in the next 2 years. And we feel that after 2022, there is potential to open in partnership with South Asian companies a similar model. Just to remember that the idea and the mission of our company is to help people to walk and to learn to walk again and to improve the quality of their gait of their lives. And this is all from our side.
Thank you, Juan, for your presentation. So if anyone from the audience would like to ask any questions, feel free to type them down to the Q&A session box below. If you'd like to download all presentation reference today, please hover over to the Zoom chat to download it via the Google Drive link. Thank you. Next, let's welcome Basil from Leaders Biomedical to give his presentation.
Thank you, Rachel. Hello, and thank you everyone for being available and listening to what I have to say. Leader Biomedical is a medical devices business which is based out of the Netherlands. We have been operating in the sphere of medical device contract manufacturing as well as production for biomaterials and biologics for the last 25 years. What we aim to do is to improve access to reliable therapeutic solutions and next generation technologies. And for this particular purpose, our objective has been to try and get our technologies and products to the market, especially in this case to Southeast Asia. Okay, I'm not able to move the screen.
You try the keyboard arrows? Oh, okay. If your keyboard arrows doesn't work, then we can help you with your slides as well. No worries.
If you could please be so kind to help me change the screen because it's not working. Yeah, thank you. Leader Biomedical has, as I've briefly pointed out, we've been around for the last 15 to 25 years. beginning as a small 25 years ago, and then the last 15 years we built it ourselves. 6 years specifically, we've spent our operations in trying to expand into Southeast Asia, into Asia and Latin America. And what you see here is a short footprint of where we have an operation in Russia, India, Brazil, the United States, and our headquarters, which is out of the Netherlands. Thanks, Rachel. For the next one, please. Could you switch slides, please, Rachel? Yeah, thank you. Our business solutions essentially consist of 4 products within the therapeutic offerings that we have. So we supply products within the dental, spine, joint care, and sports medication indications. These are biomaterials, as I mentioned, so they are implants which are put into the body and are predominantly resorbed. These are implants which are either made out of human material, which is the main purpose of our exploration with Southeast Asia, which comes through donated human material. We also have implants which are made out of calcium and synthetics. In addition to that, we also have implants which are made out of animal material, in this case, ovine, equine, bovine, and even porcine. The product portfolio that's of most interest, in our opinion, for the region is our biologics portfolio, which includes the ETIS line of allografts. These are essentially cancellous material, which is processed and derived from material which has been sourced from human tissue, which could be used for various applications such as bone regeneration, resorption, as well as in some cases for bone ingrowth, and that is the DBM putty. Besides that, we've got a few other products, which includes Apcon, X-Grip, and metallic implants for hip and knee arthroplasty. The technology platform that we are interested in trying to get into the Southeast Asian market, specifically Indonesia and Singapore, is a technology platform which we have developed over the last a little bit more than 15 years, and that's called eco-technology. Essentially, what this does is it uses the properties of carbon dioxide, which, as we all know, is a gas. And under certain temperatures and pressures, we are able to bring it into a supercritical state. What that essentially means is carbon dioxide coexists at the same time as a liquid as well as a gas. Now, this property of carbon dioxide is what we call supercritical carbon dioxide. Has got unique features. For example, it helps in penetrating matrices, which are difficult to penetrate otherwise. And because of it being an inert and mild agent, the penetration and therefore what it pulls out after penetrating into a matrix is in a very mild form. This property of carbon dioxide or supercritical carbon dioxide is what we use across our product portfolio. This is what I've just shortly introduced. This presentation will be available for download. So when you click on the play button, you would see a little bit more of what I've said in a video. But we've applied this technology and come up with 3 different process applications. One is what we call EcoClean. EcoClean is a technique where we apply the technology on human, animal, or synthetic material to take away fats, to take away lipids, to take away host and donor specific proteins, to take away, in some cases, even microorganisms and viruses. This technique has been used for the last 15 years in Europe. We have marketed products using that in Europe. We've got CE marks for products which are produced using this technology. And this is a technology which we would like to have introduced in Malaysia. In Indonesia. This is a further explanation on the technicalities of the technology itself. So as I mentioned, under certain temperatures and pressures, it would be able to generate a cleansing of the matrix. And what you see here is the graph diagram of the supercritical state. And on the other hand, what you see is the image of supercritically treated bone. So that's what you're seeing there is the bone matrix. This is the portfolio of products that are derived using the technology. That's orthopedic products. So that's bone grafts and bone substitutes for osteoporotic indications or bone void filling indications. We have dental allografts, which are used for dental maxillofacial indications. And we've also got a xenograft, which is essentially an animal-derived pericardium. Pericardium is the tissue around your heart, which has been processed and converted into finished product, which could be used for dental applications. That's the dental xenograft. This is a short summary of the references. We've worked with tissue banks in Europe. We've worked with clients in Europe as well as in Australia, including the United States. There are a few projects which we are running where we're doing technology licensing and setups. And what you also see is our franchise network, which is in Europe, in Malaysia, as well as in China. The following slides will explain a lot more about the research work that we've done. So we have work done in cardiovascular indications. This is an example of that. You could go forward, yes, and further examples. So what you're seeing here is pericardium. As I mentioned, this is the tissue around the heart. It's applicable for all living beings or all human and animal beings. This is how it comes. It is processed, and what you see in white is how the final tissues is arrived at. We've done work with some very accredited and renowned universities in the Netherlands. One of them is the University of Twente, where we have a published paper. And some more research publications that are available about the work that we have done. Yes, I believe this would be it, Rachel. I think the rest is all research publications, and I don't want to take away the time of the other speaker. This is an important slide because this is the one where we do our manufacturing. This is our company, which is also in the Netherlands, EMCM. Here is where we produce a lot of materials, including the biologics that we spoke about. But in addition to that, we are renowned for our bone cement manufacturing capabilities. We do that for the top pharma and medtech companies of this world. We have the accreditations from the US, from the European authorities, from Malaysia, even from the Indonesian authorities, and from the Brazilian authorities. Yes, a short summary of all the ventures that you've seen already on the map, but thank you for listening. As a company, we're interested in finding like-minded partners who would be keen to work with us in exploring this technology in Indonesia and Singapore.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation, Basil. Now, if there's any more questions for the audience, feel free to type down your questions on the Q&A window below. If not, next, let's move on to the next speaker. Please welcome Ramon from Indes to give his presentation. Ramon, please.
Yes, I muted myself. Yeah, nice to meet everyone. And so I'm Ramon Jennings. I'm the business development manager for Indes. And Indes is from origin a product development company. So we have developed a lot of products for other companies like Johnson & Johnson and Philips and so on. And in the early 2000s, we started to market our own products, and we market them under the name Esense. So Esense is all about change heavy to healthy. So what we are seeing in the healthcare sector is that a lot of caregivers and nurses, they are experiencing physical complaints. And the majority of these physical complaints is a result of pushing and pulling and twisting with heavy rolling products. So take, for example, beds that can be really heavy, up to 400 kilo, or sometimes we see them even higher, till 800 kilos. So every time when you have to push or pull a bed, that is an impact on your body. So what we are seeing is in a lot of countries, we are experiencing that there is a problem with aging. So a lot of people and they are getting older and older, and all the work needs to be done with less people. So then it is really important that we keep them healthy. So what are we doing is we are trying to reduce the physical complaints. So how we do that is we have developed an electric drive system, a power drive, and the power drive can be connected or integrated to heavy rolling equipment. So take, for example, a hospital bed. It can be connected as a fifth wheel in the middle of a hospital bed. And then it will have the function of a power assist, but as well a steering function because it is in the middle of the bed. So instead of that, you use normally two people, two caregivers, in order to transfer people from one side to the other side. You are now able to do it with only one person, and it will go much easier. So what we are doing, we use sensor technology. We recognize the input from a person if they want to go forwards, backwards, or sidewards, and we will adjust the electric power assist to it. So we do not work with a gas throttle or joystick, because our experience is that it will add some learning time for the caregivers. And sometimes we are seeing that they are running behind the product, and that is something what you want to avoid. Our products can be integrated by OEM companies or as a retrofit to existing products. So basically how it works is this is a trolley, and the electric wheel is placed underneath, and the sensors inside the push bar, they recognize if you are pushing, then you will get direct support in the forwards direction. If you are pulling, you will get support in the backwards direction. Same applies if you want to go to the side. I will skip this. Okay, so basically we have our power drives in 3 different versions, a fixed one. And the fixed one is able to give support in forward and backwards direction. The up version, this one adds the functionality of a liftable wheel. And the 360 version, that one can drive sideways as well. Each of these versions comes in a different variation. So the boxed one, that one is the one that is used often for retrofit options, so that you connect it to existing products. The power function is the one where we supply the battery pack as well, but not the water resistant box. And the basic version is used by OEM companies to integrate it in their own products. I'll skip this one. Another thing, what we offer is we offer a software solution with our power drives, so that you are able to customize your settings. So you are able to adjust the speed. You are able to adjust the torque or the brake behavior. Furthermore, it can be used as well for service purposes. So because you can see exactly how many times it has been used, and maybe if you need to swap certain things. Another thing that is the ergometer. We do not sell this, but we rent it out. And this ergometer works on the same sensor technology. And with this meter, we show objectively to our customers the forces which they are pushing and pulling. So the guidelines are telling us that it is allowed to push and pull maximum 15 to 20 kilograms. So every time when you exceed those forces, you are in potential risk of physical complaints. So this is an ergometer, can be easily mounted to existing products, and it will warn you if you are pushing or pulling too hard. We will give an indication with some LED feedback. Then we have our own Esense patient hoist, and the same applies as what I told earlier. These patient lifts are used to transfer people from a bed to a wheelchair or to the toilet. So this combination is around 50 kilos, and then someone is hanging inside the sling, and the caregivers, they have to transfer those people. So the thing is that you would like to have that it is really easable, maneuverable, and that it is not taking a lot of force to get the people from the bed to the toilet. So that's the reason why we build in our Esense system here as well. So instead of pushing and pulling really hard, you are now able to make the transfer with only 2 fingers. So it does not, you do not have to use any force anymore to make the transfer. That's it. That is our two main products, and that is how we change heavy to healthy.
Thank you very much, Ramo, for the presentation. If there's any questions, feel free to type that in onto the Q&A chat box below, and also you can download all the presentation references into the Google Drive link provided into the Zoom chat. Next, let's welcome the next speaker, Dorman from Eurotronic, to give his presentation. Dorman, please.
Hello. Hello, thank you everybody for joining, for attending. Okay, we see the presentation. Okay. We are Eurotronic. I present Eurotronic. We are a developer and manufacturer of a nurse call system. Just so we sort out the slides. Can you go to the next one? We are developer and manufacturer of nurse call system, IP nurse call system, and we are quite confidently saying it is one of the most advanced information communication solutions for healthcare market. And I'll try to explain you in this short period of time how and why we are actually claiming that. As you can see, we are present in many countries. We cooperate with partners all over the world, and this is why we are attending this fair, to expand our businesses also in the towards East. We are very present in Europe, as you can see, because we are stationed in Slovenia. But also other markets are very interesting to us. They have a lot of potential. The core of our business is IP nurse call system. And what we have done here differently is we joined IP nurse call system with digital healthcare documentation. Also, we have subsystems like home care, patient entertainment system, and location tracking, which is especially useful in these Corona times. And we have a solution actually that enables contact tracking with our existing nurse call equipment. This enables, for example, to track contacts, this slide, yes, to track contacts between patients, visitors, and staff, and to see contacts for 2 or 3 weeks ago in the past, and determine who have been in contact with who. But to give you an overall overview of our portfolio, we have, of course, IP nurse call system with buttons, and we have many different options here. We have wired buttons, wireless buttons, and of course our advanced system, which means that we enable nursing staff to enter and to manage nursing documentation and healthcare documentation within the nurse call system. This is especially useful now because many countries are, especially Singapore and also in Indonesia, this is seen, they're investing a lot of digitalization of healthcare market, and this fits perfectly because it is digitalized what nurses, what staff has been doing years on the paper, and we are achieving great results here. First, here you can see this is our standard wired buttons, which already have are made according to the DIN VDE German standard for nurse call systems. This means that they are antibacterial, they are 24 volts, which is safe and which is not seen with many competitors. They are network checked all the time. Also, we have all these buttons and equipment in a wireless edition, which has many useful use cases. For example, please next slide. When you have, for example, expensive labor, where you are unable to equip hospital with cabling, this fits perfectly, and the existing equipment is already enabling also other modular systems to be added. For example, location tracking, various sensors for fall prevention, location tracking, and so on. Next slide. Here is our equipment. Those are the wristbands for the patients and also for the staff. In some cases it is very practical when patients cannot reach the usual equipment. They can use wristbands on their hand. You can track them. You can see from where the call is coming, and this is also available for the staff. If you go next. And then we come to our advanced nurse call system. This is added to the existing equipment. It is very modular. I like to emphasize this. This is very modular system because you can additionally add or upgrade from existing nurse call system to the advanced. Here, the staff can have many additional features like advanced logging in, advanced reporting, and also hospital integration system, hospital information system integration. That means that all information, next slide please, all the information can be synchronized between nurse call system, our nurse call system, and hospital information system. So everything that is done, all the activities that are done in the room of a patient, can be immediately synchronized with the hospital information system and vice versa. And this greatly reduces stress, reduces time spent on this papyrology that nurses have to do a lot, and this is one of our key advantages. Please next. This is also advanced logging in. Just by logging in by different way, RFID card, wristband, smartphone, you can immediately see the response time, the activities that have been done, when the call was responded, and so on. And those are just some of many benefits that we can offer to this to the hospital. So here's an overview. Here's an overview of our nurse call system to see how it is combined all in one. Please next. Also, cleaning and maintenance can be all done within the room, within the nurse call system that is in the patient room, or also for elderly care homes in the residence home. Please next. the reporting, many reportings. You can extract any possible data, and this is very useful for management, for head nurses. They can optimize work shift. They can see who is most active, who has the best response times. You have very good, valid arguments when you have some disputes with patients, and you have very good arguments to solve these disputes, or never to face them at all. Please, next. Here we have also our subsystems. Just so briefly we go over them. This is iNurse, smartphone application for nurses. As you can see here, nurses can see all the calls from all the rooms that are coming. They can see in which rooms the nurses are present. They can make SOS calls or code blue calls to doctors. They can call for assistance of another nurse, which is a special standardized call. They can connect, they can call to other nurses on their iNurses, see reports, do services, and so on. Please, next. Also, we have solutions for corridor displays, not only so you can see the calls and from where they are coming, but also various information can be added. For example, news, hospital news, weather, menus. And this is we're still talking about the nurse call system. So here you can see the width of it. Please, next. We have also a solution for more premium hospitals. This is our patient entertainment system. This is still nurse call system in its core. It is per each bed. So patients can call for help, but still they can have IPTV on this unit. They can have internet, shopping, anything possible, because this is again modular system. We're very flexible and can do some custom-made solutions here. Please, next. And also we have here our home tab. This is solution for what's the phrase, for homes with care homes, for elderly that are living alone. We give this support with our technology, so they can have a call unit in their living room for easy call, big buttons, and with various functions like reminder and so on. And also with wristbands, they have fall detection, they have location tracking, all within this package, and it does makes them more safer, and their families can feel more safer, knowing that some technology, someone is paying attention to them. And this is it. This was a brief introduction of our solutions. Hope you enjoyed and find out something new. For any context, you can find us on our website, Eurotronic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dimon. Thank you very much for all of the presenters today for sharing your presentations. For now, if anyone from the audience would like to visit our presenters, please do visit them at the EU Pavilion at the Medical Fair Asia. Thank you so much for your time today, and you can also download all the presentation references on our Google Drive link here. Thank you, and have a very nice day ahead.